Yeah, we out here working. No, it's not a Nissan, not this time. Yeah, buddy. Okay, so at least on this right passenger side, we got new pads, new rotor, new calipers, sliding pins of grease. I got the rubber boot. I took it off my old calipers. I just had to snap it in. You have a new upper control arm with the bushing. Bro, there's like nothing in there. It's just cushion, you know? And not doing nothing, just sitting secure. At least there's a cotter pin. Now this new lower ball joint too. New axle. Because the axle busted when the wheel came flying out. Now this strut can easily sit against this wishbone here, lower wishbone. So what I'm getting out of this whole ordeal is you have to disconnect the struts down here, this mounting bolt as well. And when you move the strut back and forth, it can let it down from up there. Now, is there anything connected to this? There is a bolt back here. And what I'm getting from this is the wishbone is pinching that part of the strut. So, I mean, I should, in theory, be able to back that out, and it releases the clamp load on this bottom of the strut insert, and I should be able to pop it up and move it out the way. I should. If not, then I have to loosen the wishbone and lay it in a certain direction. You get what I'm saying? So we'll see. I'm gonna start with this one. Let's see what it is, because it looked like a 14. But is it? It's a 14. So I get to have my breaker bar on it. Great. Current situation. Trying to take out that strut. Alright, so the bolt comes from the rear and it screws into that. There's no retaining nut on the other side. It has threads in there. And you know I want to clean these threads up as well as the motor mount bolt that I saw yesterday that looked like crap, but in due time. Now, there's still tension on this and I can't pull it by hand. I can't undo it by hand, and it's most of the way out. But as you can see, it should be able to, you know, jiggle it a little bit. Oh yeah, tip. You see these new retaining fasteners for your new strut? I don't know why I have 5 unless this is a part of the strut, which I'm guessing so. New tip, just before you even put it in and struggle with holding it up with one hand and trying to get a fastener on, try to find out what size these are. What if it's not a 14, you know? So let me undo that, because obviously I gotta take it off. Alright, so these two up here are 12s. Alright, those were 14s, these are 12. This is like body brace right here, flex, anti-flex, body flex brace, which adds to the car's rigidity, especially when, you know, the car is going down the highway and galloping over imperfections and waviness. It helps it to stay, you know, whatever, but it did. Now, I guess that's the reason why this makes sense. Now, why the hell my ass thought that I had the wrong thing? K-Y-B, daddy. Yeah. That's all you gotta do. You just bolt it in and put it in. You ain't gotta do no compression, no nothing, and you leave that damn bolt alone. So yeah, got the bolt all cleaned up. As you can see, that's what the bolt look like. Goes in from the rear, bolts in. So towards the end of like unbolting this thing, it does, you know, you could undo it by hand the rest of the way and just pull it out. So now, let's see. Clouds are over me. I mean, it's just a cup that's sitting and just, I guess, squeezes this upper cup around that. So now, that one down there, 17 from the rear. Okay. That's just a sway bar end link. That has nothing to do with it. This wishbone here, this wishbone bolt, 17. And the head of the bolt, which you could probably put a ratchet on, is a 17 as well. Luckily for me, I got both. All right, let's get twisting here. You can break this loose with a, you know, breaker bar. And I'm not even holding that side, so I mean, it's turning. Now I gotta use 2 hands. Okay, don't go down the rabbit hole. If there's tension on this long ass strut bolt and you had the nut on it, you're tapping it with a hammer now, you have to push it the rest of the way through with something, because here's what happened now. Even though I tried jacking it up, it added more tension on the bolt. Jack it back down and have the jack under there as a precaution, fine. I didn't need the jack. So once I punched it all the way through and then pull the screwdriver out to take tension from holding it, the whole strut just dropped down. And then of course the lower control arm, under its tension with the sway bar end link, it's mounting and the ball joint is gonna go back up just a hair. So now you're looking at the struts. Now you could kind of fish it out, I guess, through the front, however it worked for you. And then I guess you have to knock off that piece, and then hopefully they put some anti-seize inside of that, because they had that anti-seize right there, which I applaud them for. Thank you so much. I'm definitely gonna put some more in there. Not that it needs it now, but now if you're replacing the strut and you gotta rattle this thing around, because obviously it can't come out as one full piece. You see that? See how it dropped down there? So somebody was nice enough to, I guess, handle that part of lubricating that as well as like the main bolt. So let me see if I can lay this thing sideways, lay it down, see what it does. Shake it, baby. Twist and shout. Twist and shout. Now it's got tension here on the end. So that's probably where the bolt pinches high up. So, you know. There you go. See that? A little bit of shock to the strut. Woo. And voila, the wishbone, lower wishbone is sitting right there. The rest of the strut, you could let it come down, unless you want to take off this brake hose holder. I don't know. We'll figure out a way to get it out. Push this back up, push it over, take this away from the axle. And as you can see, if you can get a wire wheel or something in there, or just re-grease it with PB Blaster, maybe some kind of agent that turns rust, catalyst in the rust back to bare metal. So yeah, passenger side scoops down like that, and the pinch bolt is facing your crank pulley. Now that that's out the way, let's try to, you know, see how far I can make this. Wow. You want to come through the back? You want to come through the rear? Is that it? Yeah. So playing around with this control arm, pushing everything back up, kind of helps give some extra space. I could just turn it sideways. I could just drop the whole thing. Hey. Play with you. So old one, new one. Yeah. Alright, so we're back here now. We got the strut out. Now the old strut has kind of like a little, but that part don't matter how it look. It all got to sit into the same thing. The old strut has some kind of, oh, that is Honda. The old strut is Honda, bro. Oh, it's stamped to say Honda. 0706153 03S has a do not do whatever, and then it has Japan or do not open. Yeah, do not open. But it does say Honda here in like the skinniest of letters, SHCWA US. So okay, I'm making sure I line it up correctly. Okay, where my two ones go to that strut tower, because this is not like your typical, oh, McPherson strut, it only got 3 at the top. This one has an extra, you know, partition going on. A lot of cars might be like that, you know, incorporating like more lugs on here for your cross brace or something like that, or anti-twist, body twist or something for the car. So if you run into a situation like this where you got the strut in there, now you're like, how do I put this in? How do I sneak it in there and scoop it up in there? Remember, you still can push this whole assembly down. The control arm will rebound. But remember, if you want extra leverage, you're gonna have to disconnect that thing right there. You know, disconnect the top with a 12, pop it back out, let the whole thing drop. So most of the weight will be on the lower control arm, the main lower control arm, as well as like this too, because this ain't gonna let it flex as much. So, and then you gotta be mindful that, you know, everything like is connected somewhere, so this as well, you know. And then you gotta worry about your brake hoses. So the same way you took it off, the same way you put it on. Try not to take off other things and put stress in other places that you don't need to. So I started from the bottom and went way back up, right? I started with getting that bolt in there. You can lean your whole chest or shoulder on this thing and push it down while you're holding that main bolt and trying to get it through. Remember, everything is still movable, so once you get this stuff on, it's all jiggly around. It's all jiggly puff. You can forcefully move the fork and look straight down at it while your chest or shoulders pushing this down as much as it can. Remember, you're gonna get some resistance from other components because you didn't take it off, but you don't need to take it off. Once you get that main bolt through, just be careful of your threads. Just give it one good shove, push it all the way through. After that, your fastener goes back here. Remember, if it feels like it's getting caught up and it didn't come off like that towards the end, stop, take it off, try to regroup, and make sure you don't mess up threads. I didn't tighten that all the way, I just tightened it snug. Then I went up here, I tightened this snug. Then I went up here, I put everything on, and then leave all that other stuff up there for last, because obviously it's all aligned. Then I started with this one, right? Started with this one, torqued it all the way in. Next one was this one. I did it as tight as possible, and I didn't want to snap this bolt. So you know how there's one too many ugga-duggers and you lose a bolt. So just be forgiving, because do you have another pinch bolt? Do you have and then if something snaps off and the rest of the threads are stuck in there, now you're gonna have to drill that out. So be a little bit forgiving to this. Just, it's tight, don't over tighten it. Then you could come up to the top, and you already know what to do with that. Yeah. So yeah, that's it for us. You know, I like how clean their threads look. Look like they painted or something. Okay, fresh motor mount. Fresh strut mount. Everything was complete strut. So yeah, the only thing that they really had on that was like warning stickers that we all used to, and then maybe a part number for a locator in the warehouse.